Okay, so we're on video 17 on a lovely grey Saturday afternoon. My name's Samuel Sadler. I am the CEO of Lion Rose Holdings, a property investment brokerage based in Liverpool city centre, here to answer 28 questions, or 28 frequently asked questions should I say, in 28 days on 28 separate videos of the frequently asked questions from our buyers and investors. So as I try and keep an eye on my son and my cockapoo Jet, there he is, and my son as well. The question today is, okay, why would somebody buy a property before completion? You know, why would you buy something that's not built yet? And you know, what are the advantages of doing that? There is, like I said, I could sit here probably all night, take a lot longer than 3 or 4 minutes to explain the advantages, but some of the main ones are, from an investor's perspective, it's usually early pricing models, so you're getting access to the earliest pricing possible, which means that the discounts from the actual price of the apartment on completion can usually be between anywhere 5 to 10 to 15 to 20% under market value in some cases, because you're buying it before it's built. You usually only have to exchange contracts with a certain percentage. That can be as little as 1%, all the way up to 25%, can be 30%, 40%. It all depends on the structure of the developer, or how the developer's structuring it and how they're selling it off plan, if you like. So that's obviously a massive advantage, because the savings are in the thousands, tens of thousands in some cases. Your cash flow, it's important for cash flow. You only have to commit a certain percentage. You don't have to actually bother with purchasing the full unit outright straight away with a mortgage. You can actually just put the deposit down of whatever is required, following on conveniently for what I was referring to before, your 10%, your 20%, and then you've got a number of years depending on the timeline. Usually it's anywhere from 18 to 24 to 36 months, and to obviously get the rest, and then you can complete inside about 6 months of completion. You then will be able to complete with a mortgage. Obviously that's subject to circumstances, of course. Would always consult with a broker, make sure that you've got the credibility that you need and everything else before reserving. And then obviously once you get to completion, you complete with the mortgage, you'll find you've got yourself a cracking asset, a brand new asset, usually right in the middle of a regeneration area, or right in the middle of a city centre. And the cash that will pour in from that, yield wise, will be quite handsome, anywhere from 6% upwards, depending on your model of management. Can also be Airbnb as well, but however, I'm sort of digressing there into the management side of it, because if you Airbnb a model like that, or if you Airbnb a unit that's in a city centre, usually the figures the yield can be in the double figures. So I think that there's also choice. The pressure's not as bad. You know, you're not got everyone fighting over the same house in the street. You've usually got quite a healthy availability with most developments. That includes houses and apartments. I've just been handed my son's scooter because he's got sick of it. So yeah, for investors there's loads of advantages, and you've also got incentives that developers usually have as well, like furniture packs that they can offer on completion, stamp duty contributions. There's loads of things that you can obviously benefit from by buying off plan. For buyers as well, to live, if you're looking for somewhere to live, always a good shout, because you only have to commit a little amount usually to reserve an exchange, and then you'll be able to take your time. You'll be able to plan out your future. And again, there's obviously certain elements of risk. I hate to say it, but there is, and that's all down to the due diligence aspect. You need to know that these developers are reputable. You need to know that they've completed several developments on time. You need to know that they know what they're doing. You need to know that the project's commercially viable, even in the worst case scenarios, market wise. And also, you need to know what insurance is in place. What can go wrong, and if it does go wrong, how are you getting stung, if at all? How are you protected legally? There's loads of different things that you need to obviously consider, but that's what Lion Rose is here for, and obviously that's what we do, to obviously protect our clients and protect the advice that we give. So other than that, I'm at 4 minutes 26, and I've explained obviously why someone would buy off plan. That's why I'd buy off plan. That's why I'd advise people buy off plan. And again, all investors are different. All investors are different. So I don't know what happened there. The battery told me it was low, so I think I might interrupt at the end of the video. But okay, I think that's it. So yeah, Lion Rose, live well, invest better.